there, creepy peeps, and welcome to day 25 of Shocktober. How close are we to Halloween? Oh my gosh, we are less than a week away. How excited is everybody? Right, so today we're going to be talking about Aliens. Of course, Aliens is set 57 years after the events of Alien, and Ripley is being sent back to LV-426 because the colonists that have been staying there all of a sudden lost contact, so they are sending out a group of Marines to investigate. Let's get right into what I like about Aliens. Of course, the character Ripley. She's just a badass, but at the same time, you know, you can see her vulnerability because in the beginning of the movie you can see how traumatized she is by what happened to her, and I just like seeing that so much more in movies because I feel like sometimes, not for every sequel or anything like that, but if there's like a sequel to like an action-y kind of horror movie like this, in the sequel, any surviving characters, sometimes they don't bother to like make them seem affected by it in any way. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So I like that she has kind of a vulnerable side, and she is super traumatized by what happened to her, and she's very understandably reluctant to go back. She knows that she can help, but frankly she's frightened to go back, and I think that makes her such a more real character. But when she needs to, she does kick xenomorph ass. So she's not completely weak, and she's not completely held captive by her feelings of fear and, you know, remembering what happened to her previously. So, you know, when she's called upon to kick that xenomorph ass, she does it. And of course, I think what a lot of people like about Ripley is like, homegirl can take care of herself. Again, it just, you know, shows like what a well-drawn character she is, that she has so many dualities, like I said before, you know, like she's vulnerable, but, you know, can take care of herself if she needs to. But she also, you know, she's also a woman, and she also, you know, kind of makes eyes at Hicks a little bit, which, seriously, does anybody blame her? Like, when I first saw this movie, I had such a crush on Hicks. She's still a woman, you know, she still can flirt a little bit, but also can take care of herself. Like I said, like when she needs to, she can handle herself. She ain't no damsel in distress. Of course, I just keep going on and on about Ripley, but I just love her character. I love the character Ripley, especially in these first two movies. In this one in particular, the second one, I think she takes on much more of a motherly role with the addition of the little girl that they find, Newt. And I think that really sets her off nicely against the xenomorphs, because they both kind of have the same goal. So obviously the xenomorphs' goal is, you know, to keep their species alive, so they, you know, impregnate their hosts so they can grow their species. And that's pretty much what Ripley is doing too. She's trying to keep her species alive. I think that in part has to do with why she is so intent on keeping Newt alive, because Newt kind of represents like the future of the human race. You really see Ripley as a mother figure. Even though there are other women on the mission, I feel like Ripley is the most feminine of them and the most motherly. And I think they really set that off well at the very beginning of the movie when they find Ripley in hypersleep or whatever, cryo state, whatever, in hypersleep or something, and they find her, and to show like when they, you know, when they're showing what happened, what like happens to her, there's like a crossfade, and like her face like they're showing her face in the profile view and it lines up perfectly with like the curvature of the earth. And you know, we always call Earth Mother Earth, so like I just associate her with Mother in this movie a lot. As far as like the effects go, there are a few like very obvious kind of like CGI green screeny type effects that don't hold up super well, but the xenomorphs still look really good, I think. Once you can see them, they still look really good. Like, they still look really good. I'm super impressed. So kind of merging, segueing into what I didn't like about Aliens. I think there is some good suspense like leading up to this new crew going to LV 426. I think there's some good suspense leading up to it because we're like in the position of Ripley. We know what happened in the first film, and even though she's told other people what happened to her, they don't really believe her. Even the people that say they believe her, you can tell they really don't believe her until they actually encounter a xenomorph. Anybody believes her like 100%, and it's just a little bit tiresome that it does take a good portion of the movie to get to the point where they run into the xenomorphs and, you know, start attacking. I think the only thing that redeems it from that is they don't do it in the same way, because obviously at this point there are a lot of xenomorphs that have already like become fully grown, so we don't have like the face hugger scene really where we have to wait for something to burst out of somebody's chest. But it can, I feel like this happens a lot too with sequels that are like this, where we have like pretty much a new group of people going in. It's like, as the audience, we already know everything about them from the first movie. We know how they operate, we know what they are, and it sometimes can be a little tiresome for other characters to learn this. Only thing, which is a super nitpicky thing, the voice dubbing on Newt just stands out so much. That is like one pet peeve. Every time I watch an older film, sometimes, just sometimes, the voice dubbing is bad. And I don't think it's so much the voice dubbing. I think it's that it doesn't always match the mouth, like, of the character that's speaking, like the mouth movements. Because like when it's voice dubbed, it's so clear. Like, it makes the voice so much clearer and so much easier heard. So when the voice, like when the mouth is only moving kind of like this much, like Newt's, it's so hard when her voice is coming out so clear and crisp like this. But should you watch Aliens? Duh. I'm sure all of you out there have already. This was kind of like a hard one to fill. Like, there were a few requirements I had to fill for like franchises, to watch so many movies from a franchise. So it was hard to pick some because I knew that everybody would have seen, like, you know, all the franchises obviously are super popular, so you guys all have probably seen all of them. But if you haven't, Aliens is definitely worth it. It's personally my favorite sequel of the Alien franchise, like excluding the very first one. It's definitely my favorite. That being said, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. On IMDb, it has an 8.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 98% critic score and a 94% audience score. And Roger Ebert gave it a 3.5 out of 4. So if you've seen Aliens, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. As always, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday, and then every single day this month for Shocktober there's an additional movie review. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.